Hey everyone, this is Jason at Grand Slam. This is another Grand Slam Secret War Journal. This is number 12 or 13. I can never keep up with my own numbers. So here we are again, back with another week. I am still keeping up with this. We've still got plenty of weeks to go. So we're having fun. We're still sticking in there. Real quick for books, there was a lot of them this week. I'm going to try to get through them in a decent amount of time, hopefully under 15 minutes. First off, real quick, Miss Deadpool issue 3 came out. I don't read that book. I once again, as I've said before, I don't read the Deadpool stuff anymore. I don't really like Deadpool anymore. Uh, but for those of you who like Deadpool, it's got the jokes and the fun stuff. There's monsters and crazy stuff, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. So it was that one that I wanted to read about. Uh, but here's plenty of books that I'm going to talk about. Korvac Saga, number 3. This is one that I didn't think I really enjoyed at the beginning, and it's starting to kind of unfold a little bit. This picture has nothing to do with the comic book, this cover, so that's kind of a whatever. But in this one, we find out, there's these people who are remembering that there's a universe, that there's like stars and all this stuff, because there is no stars. There's only one star. We all know. We found that out in issue 4 of Secret Wars, and so we're starting to, there's this conspiracy. People are remembering things. They turn into these monsters. They have to beat them down because they're a harm to everybody. And that's what happened. I think it was Dark Star or Dark Hawk got in some trouble last time. He almost got killed. Well, he did get killed, and he went mad and all that stuff. So Korvac has the power to bring people back from the dead because, he's awesome. He's got superpowers, but he's had to contain them because Doom said, "Hey, you can be the Baron if you stop being all crazy powerful and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do that." But because he likes Darkhawk so much, he had to bring him back, and that just kind of opens Pandora's box of him just using his powers and doing things that he shouldn't be doing. And then by the end of the issue, we find out that it's him all along. He's kind of the guy who's igniting all this madness and all this stuff, and they're going to have to confront Korvac. So once again, like once these stories are beginning to develop, we're starting to see the end game of all these mini series. So once again, that one's a lot better. The art is still, the art's still, I want more, but it's got good characters in it, and it's definitely worth checking out if you like the galactic kind of stuff or any of those characters. But yeah, I mean, it had nothing to do with Yondu on the cover, which is weird. Battleworld issue number 4. These books are kind of these one-off stories, nothing really impacting everything going on with all the cool stuff. This one's 2 stories with Silver Surfer versus Galactus, and the art in that's actually really cool. So if you want to see some cool art from a new artist, that's kind of what these are for. The other one is good art as well, Silver Surfer versus Maestro here. So we get that story as well. What do they mean? I don't know. They're fun. That's if you've been getting. I have a lot of people that get Battleworld at shop, so I think they just want something cool to read. Secret Wars 2099 issue number 4. The story is still kind of going along. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't really get into the 2099, but I have been reading it, and it does make sense. Peter David is still a good writer, surprisingly enough. I love Peter David, so it's really not shocking. That's me being sarcastic. In this one, the story is still developing. Hercules and we still have Namor here. They're still having a drinking contest, and there's conflict and people fighting and blah 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 blah. There's the defenders or the defenders in here, Avenger type people. They're starting to kind of figure out there's something afoot, and so they are breaking in and doing things. And I'm really doing a bad job. I'm really doing this book disservice. It did kind of get rolled up into all of my books this week. By the end, we find out that Captain America, who's been kind of brainwashed and controlled, that's coming to a head. So that's 2099. Sorry for the very bad interpretation for that. Inhumans, Adelan Rising. This one has been confusing recently, but now Black Bolt there was an uprising. He got caught. He got stopped, captured by Medusa, and so she's interrogating him. And as that interrogation happens, we're going to see the Thors show up, and they're like, "Hey, this is now a matter of the Doom Guard or the Thors and everything. Like, no one cares about your private barony, all that stuff." And Medusa's like, "Whoa, no, that's not going to happen." So she's kind of put her foot down. There's going to be a conflict between her and the whole Doom stuff going on. And her and Black Bolt are still at ends. Meanwhile, we have another team that's gone off to Greenland. There isn't much of that story going on. Honestly, I feel like Charles Soule is saving his ammunition for the Uncanny Inhumans book that comes out in the all different Marvel. That book had issue 0 come out well before this whole event began. So this is kind of like a side segue, and it's for people who might like Inhumans, but it's also got cool characters from all over. This issue did not have Kamala Khan or Matt Murdock from 1602, so I wasn't as excited for it. Master of Kung Fu issue number 4. This is kind of a concluding story, it seems like. So it's the first one that's concluded. In this one, great story. Chang-Chi, he's in the tournament. He finally faces Danny Rankai and Red Sai. And, he gets hurt by Red Sai and then with a poison. And then Danny Rand saves him. He's like, okay, that's it. Like, I'll concede to you. Go fight your father. Because your father is the ruler of everything. You're the only person that can beat him. You're a true heart, all that good stuff. He goes to face his father. They have a really cool kung fu thing where he's like, I know your power. I taught you everything you know. It's like, no, you did not teach me this one thing. And like, it's really cool. And then he's like, I will now use all 10 styles of the rings on you, and I will make you submit and destroy you. And he beats him. And now Shang-Chi is the emperor, happily ever after. So he's the emperor of Kunlun now. What does that mean to everything? I don't know. Does that mean that Shang-Chi is going to be a big part of Kunlun in the future books for Iron Fist? Who knows? I really like that book. So if you like cool martial arts stuff, Ghost Racers number 3. This story is continuing to be really cool. I really like more Ghost Rider-y stuff. I like this team that's working on it. I might go back and read some of those other books to see if it's something I can get into. In this one, our hero breaks free of the Colosseum, but people are chasing him. He tries to drive him down. You see just really cool art, crazy spirit, igniter spirits, and he's running away from them. And then they're recalled, but he can't be recalled for some reason. His spirit is free, so now he's out there in the open. And so now they're going to lure him back to the Colosseum by making his brother race in one of the Colosseum races. So obviously we're going to have a conflict of interest. He's going to go back to the Colosseum, and there's going to be cool stuff that happens. That's a fun book. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious. It's predictable, but so it's Fast and the Furious. It's just a fun book. This one here, Years of Future Past. This one is coming to a head. Bad things are happening, obviously, in the Years of Future Past. It's a dark future. In this particular book, we already found out that Chelsea Pride, Chrissy Pride, and Cameron, they're related. They're actually, both the kids are Rasputin and Kitty Pride, and Logan just raised Cameron. And so that's a huge thing that happened in last issue. And now the end game is happening where we're finding out they need to go save Kelly, Senator Kelly, from making bad things happen, or President Kelly, I guess, in this world. And they want to save him, but at the same time, like, we actually find out that Magneto is in a conspiracy to do bad things to the Pride kids. And so who knew Magneto would be behind a bunch of, he would turn on the X-Men. So that's a good take on Magneto. I hate it when they make him a good guy, or at least like a nicer person. So this is, there's a lot of stuff happening at the end of this. It ends in a place that is kind of dark. It's very, it's very sad, but it's being well written by Marjorie Bennett. She's a really great writer. So definitely check that book out. It's been really good. It's one of the better X-Men books out there. Moving on quickly, Starlord and Kitty Pryde, issue number 2. Great book. First issue was awesome. This one lives up to it. Great art in here. And this one, Starlord, remembers Kitty Pryde. This is the Starlord from 616 on the raft. And he loves Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde, this is a different Kitty Pryde from Age of Apocalypse. And she's like, I don't care. Like, I'm not into you at all. She just wants she wants to use him because he's not from this world. And so they do some fighting. They find some things out. And they're led on a mission. She has to go steal something from the Collector, basically, who is Gambit now. And at the end, it doesn't go so well for them. So this is only issue 2. The story's still developing. We're still in the rising action phase of this one. Great book. If you're into relationship stuff, especially between Kitty Pryde and Starlord, great book. I love that stuff. It's the soap opera stuff of Marvel. Planet Hulk number 4. This one, Steve Rogers is continuing to go after the Red King, but he's been caught by a bunch of Hulks. and he's kind of in the Greenland, and he escapes, of course, because that's what Steve Rogers does. Devil Dinosaur shows up to help and save him, and Doc Green is there, and Doc Green. We still don't know who he is. We don't know what his origin is, where he came from, who he was before the gamma radiation happened. So I think it's still Bucky, and they just won't say it, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. Anyways, at the end, he finally meets the Red King, and we finally get an idea of what happened to Bucky, but I don't want to spoil that for you, so who knows where this is going. But we're at the penultimate issue. There's probably only 1 or 2 issues of this one left. We'll see how it ends. A-Force number 3. This is a great book. Marjorie Bennett and G. Willow Wilson are just killing it on this book. Great art in here, too. What's going on in this one is She-Hulk was transported to a place in Manhattan, a very dark Manhattan, and she's exploring, and then some Hulks show up, and she fights them. And in the middle of this fight, she realizes that something's happened, that someone in A-Force in Arcadia has betrayed the A-Force, and so she's like, I have to get out of here. She goes back, and the Thors come through, and she realizes something's gone bad, and so they have a conflict. There's a major death that happens, or as major of a death as you can get in a miniseries for a fictional world that isn't, they're all fictional worlds, but you know what I mean. So we're in a very unsteady place right now at the end of this, and it's kind of dark. So, but once again, just a great book. I love the art in here. I love the characterization. Nika Minoru, I always love having her in there. Really cool characters. Chicks doing cool stuff. All the female characters doing awesome stuff. All right, so I saved the creme de la creme, the piece de resistance, for last. I could talk about this for a while. Well, not a while. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but Secret Wars number 5. This book is awesome. Jonathan Hickman, if you've been reading all of his books for the last 3 years, it's all been leading up to Secret Wars, and so this is the book that is the true vision of everything that's going on. All this other stuff is just spinning out of his mind palace. So in this one here, we find out last issue that Sheriff Strange, Dr. Strange, died. Dr. Doom killed him because he acted a fool. That's what happens when you cross Doom. And he killed him because he set free all of the people from the rafts. He scattered them across Battleworld. And so Thor's and Doom's roll eyes, I can't believe I have to go do something about this. So kills Dr. Strange. They have a funeral for him. And then we find out that he can go talk to the guy who kind of ignited this whole thing, who is Owen Reese. And so there's a containment version of him somewhere. It's just one singular one left. And we finally find out what happened, how this happened, how Doctor Doom became God Doom, why that decision was made, why was it Doom instead of Stephen Strange. And so we kind of get to see that culmination. Meanwhile, because Sheriff Strange is dead, Doctor Doom has to tell someone to go collect all of the people, because that would be the sheriff's job normally, who kind of oversees the Thors. He instead gives that job to his daughter Valeria, who's in charge of the Future Foundation. She has a whole team of just crazy characters, and they're going to go find these fragmented people from both of the rafts. That's what she's responsible for. And because everybody is made of Doom particles, it's easier for her to find these other people. So she's kind of finding them, and they're going to figure out what is afoot, what exactly happened, because obviously no one knows that, only people know is Owen Reese, Sheriff Strange, and of course, Doctor Doom. So they're going to probably find out what exactly happened, and, things are it's going to get crazy. At the end of the issue, we kind of see some ideas of where people were scattered to. Unfortunately, I was hoping to see that in all of the books. How cool it would have been if in the middle of all these mini-series, all these characters just randomly started popping up. That would have been really cool, but, Marvel didn't have all their fingers in the pie that way, and it was too big of a story. It's too big of an event to really do that justice. That would have been really cool and special if they did that, but they didn't. So instead, I just have my imagination and these books, all these books. So pick it up, Secret Wars number 5. I know you will. So there you have it. That's this week's stuff. A big week. Lots of fun stuff. As usual, if you like these videos, come click on things. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Team Grand Slam, and come say hi at the shop and buy some books. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. I really hope you're enjoying these videos. I like talking about these and getting them out there. It's going to be a good compilation when I am really old.